Welcome back, guys. We're going to start something new today called Enough for the Class. You're going to want to make sure that you have your student activity book, page 50, out in front of you. We're going to be looking at this page together and filling out some really important information on page 50. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to try to work together to figure out how many students are in our class. For Enough for the Class activities, it's important that you always know how many students are in the class. So we're not here together, so I'm going to kind of show you what things probably would look like if you all were here, just based on who we have in our class right this very minute. So let's say that at table 1 we had 3 students. Table 2 had 4 students. Table 3 had 4 students, and table 4 had 3 students. I want you to take a second and see if you can figure out how many students that is all together. You can pause the video and figure out how many students we have there all together. So if I wanted to figure that out, I might add 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3. And I see a lot of doubles there, which is very helpful. So let's start with the 2 in the middle. 4 plus 4. What does that equal? Good. 8. And so let's add our 3's. 8 plus 3. Good. 11. 11 plus 3, because I've got 2 3's. Good. 14. So according to this, I have 14 people. Let's check it over here and see if we end up with the same number when we add our boys and our girls. Do you think that we would end up with the same number as when we counted by tables? I want you to think about that for a second. We have 7 girls in our class right now, and we have 7 boys in our class. So that's pretty easy to figure out. That's our doubles, 7 plus 7. What does that equal? Absolutely, 14. And that's the same number I got over here when I added people up by table. So it seems to me that it doesn't matter whether you add them by table or by boys and girls, we still have 14 students in our class. On page 50, we're going to go ahead and fill out some important information in our Enough for the Class page. The first question says, there are blank children in our class. How many students did we just figure out were in our class? Absolutely. So in that blank, I'm going to write the number 14. I have to type it because that's the only way I can get it up here. You write it. There are 14 children in our class. That is very important. We're going to count some cubes. These cubes, if we were together, would be in a bag, and they would be called bag A. So just put A there. I counted the cubes in bag A. How many cubes are there all together? Well, let's come up here and I'll show you what was in bag A. These cubes here that I pulled in the box were in bag A. Let's count them. We have a problem. They don't break apart. They're all in groups of 2. So what could we count by if we wanted to count these cubes? Absolutely, we could count by 2. So let's do that. Count with me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So how many cubes were in bag A? Absolutely, 20. So we're going to come down here. How many cubes are there all together? Well, we just counted that there are 20. So you want to put 20 there. All right, so this is how the Enough for the Class problems work. Okay, and I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on this by yourself. And I want you to pause the video while you're working on your own. Make sure that you have, there are 14 children in our class. I counted the cubes in bag A. How many cubes are there all together? 20. Here's what you're going to answer. Based on this information, are there enough cubes for the class? Yes or no? Were there any extra cubes? Yes or no? How many extras? Do you need more cubes? Yes or no? How many? And how did you figure it out? Show your work. So you're going to pause the video, and I want you to answer all of this page before you turn the video back on. So pause me, fill out this page, and then we're going to come back together to discuss the page. All right, so you should have solved this whole page. If you've not solved this yet, I want you to go back and try to solve it. So while you all were working, I put out some bears to resemble the children in our class. How many children are there in our class? Absolutely, 14. And I put out some cubes to show that we have how many cubes? 20. So the first question is, are there enough for the class? So if I have 14 people and 20 cubes, am I going to have enough? Well, let's see. Let's give cubes to these bears until I get to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What do you notice there? Yeah, all the bears have a cube. Absolutely. So did we have enough for our class? Yes, we did. Are there any extra cubes? Do you see any extras on here? Don't worry about these. We don't need to look at those guys. Right here, absolutely. Those are our extras. So yes, we did have extras. How many extras? Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extras. Do we need more? Well, if we had bears that didn't have cubes, we definitely would need more. But all our bears have cubes. So do we need to get any more? No, we don't. How many? Well, if we don't need any, we don't need any. So we're going to put a 0 there. We're not going to leave that blank. How did you figure it out? Show how you know. Now, down here is where you might have written an equation. You might have drawn a picture. Let's start out with an equation. I had 14 bears, and I had 20 cubes. So we could have said 14 plus something equals 20. And of course, that something would be our extras, 6. So 14 plus 6 equals 20. You might have thought of 20 cubes minus 14 bears. That equals 6. Couple of different ways you could have thought about this. You could have drawn a picture and drawn out your bears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then you could have given them out the 20 cubes. I'm going to erase this over here so we don't get confused. I'm going to use X's for my people this time, and I'll just use counters for the cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you might have shown it that way. You might have drawn out your counters or your cubes first and then handed them to people. Here's what I don't want to see down there. Nothing. I don't want to see nothing. I just want to see how you figured it out. Whether you need to show me in equations or you need to show in a picture, however you want to show me how you figured it out. Do not leave that blank. So here in just a few minutes, you're going to do one more thing. Let me show you what that's going to be. Hopefully I can find it. Yes. Are there enough? So this time, we're dealing with another class. This is page 51. Miss Bank has 25 pencils. There are 18 students in Miss Bank's class. So you're going to answer these questions based on the information above. Are there enough for the class? Enough pencils. Are there any extra pencils? Yes or no, how many? Does Miss Bank need more pencils? Yes or no? How many? And how did you figure it out? Show your work. I want you to go ahead and complete this page, and then we are going to go over it together here in just a little while.